So this is a tech prediction that blends into some of the other stuff we're talking about. I think that 2024 ends up becoming the AI cycle where you have deepfake videos and audios down the stretch over the last several weeks that end up causing a lot of confusion and turmoil. You saw this, by the way. There was another country where like there was a last minute deep fake and it might have made the difference. I think it was Estonia. So you're going to see this be the AI cycle. All sorts of weird shit's going to come up in our social media feeds over the last 2-3 weeks, and that could be one of the defining elements. By the way, it's also going to make it so it's easier for folks to argue that there was fraud or something was rigged or stolen, because there's going to be a lot of AI generated confusion down the stretch of the fall.
So here's what the political tactic is. So you can't do deep fakes in a multi-state primary too often, because there is a good, and I'm happy for this, there's a healthy public backlash if you do it. And it's happened, I think DeSantis did one where it's not good and you have to apologize and you have to say that was wrong or I don't agree with that, right? But when you're talking about late in the game stuff or like winner take all, so it's the end of Super Tuesday or the national election, what will happen is some savvy political operative or company will create a deep fake video and run ads on it on TV or wherever it is, or deep fake phone calls, et cetera, that have their opponent doing something awful, something that you know, and you have this data, like it crosses a line that voters really, really don't like, right? And it's something like showing that a Republican is pro-choice instead of pro-life, like last minute, right? Something awful or something personal attacks, et cetera. And it happens last minute, so you can't really respond. It's right before election day. And then the election happens and people either stay home or vote a different way. And then in the aftermath, you'll find out usually, because it has to go to enough people for it to be public. But then the election happened, right? And so that's what's going to happen. The question is, do people tune it out? Are we used to this, et cetera? But to your point, it's the first one. It's the first time we're doing this, right? So you'll have folks my mom's age and others that are in the demographic voters, and they're seeing something that looks and feels very real. What are they going to do? I don't know. It doesn't look great. And so I agree with you. It's a powerful political AI prediction. My prediction on AI is that we have an AI. It's my similar prediction that I had Web3, and maybe I'll be wrong again, but AI gets mass adopted in some version. I think it's going to be a personal assistant. I think that's the first one where, like what Hey Siri is, where it's, hey, book me an appointment, write this email, get me a reso. I think it gets really good there. I could be wrong, but that's...
No, I think that's a good prediction. I just met with an entrepreneur who's working on an AI therapy bot, which, by the way, I think there's a lot of potential for.
There's some angles. What's crazy, Andrew, is that when we were running, you were talking about non-repetitive cognitive work. You're like cognitive or repetitive. And so non-repetitive cognitive work was the ones that we thought would be quote unquote safe. But now you're seeing like design and musicians and AI really kicking ass in some of those areas, as opposed to it sucks at writing somewhat. It can do basic writing, but like there's certain lanes where I thought creatives would stay strong and like anything repetitive would get rocked, and it's not as clear cut.
Yeah. The repetitive, non-repetitive stuff. I mean, so repetitive, you think it's rules based, like accounting, bookkeeping. The tough truth is that a lot of quote unquote creative work also is kind of repetitive and like follows rules. You just don't really, know them as clearly. But AI can produce art.
There's an AI logo generator that I've used, and it's objectively good. And here's the other thing: it does like the basic work. It gives me 100 concepts, 1,000 concepts, and then I can take that to massage it, right?
It's the same. Like I tell people, it's great at naming things. Where
great at naming.
Okay, name this thing, and then they'll give you 5-10 suggestions, and then you might not choose any of them, but you're going to end up springboarding off of one of the suggestions to the one you want.
You get an infinite brainstorm in minutes.
Of mental steps.
You know what I mean? Like, think about when you're trying to name something, you like Google synonyms, et cetera. It just give me 20 names for a healthcare policy, whatever you want to do, right? For a new company that does X. It's first of all, it's very exciting and very frightening, and everybody knows this. And I think that's why I like listening to you. I still listen to your podcast because you understand the.
Sorry, man. I mean, that's hysterical. Sorry.
Yeah, I listen. Yeah, I don't listen to everything. It's tough sometimes, but I try to do as many as you can. But you like the economy, humanity, political tripod of how AI is going to affect. That's the type of like leadership we need, and that's the type of like foresight we need.
It's one reason why I'm actually grateful to everyone who tunes into the podcast. I was just at like an industry event, and apparently podcasts have gotten shelved right and left, and I was like, oh shoot, like we're actually doing fine. We're like growing, like So thank you. Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. Please do hit like and subscribe, and hit that bell if you want to be notified every time a new episode drops. Thank you.